Hello everyone. Can we manage posterior capsular rent without vitrectomy? Answer is sometime yes. It depends on our luck, our experience, and if we work on good strategy. I was operating intermittent mature cataract. After making side port and main port incision, I filled the antechamber with high viscosity viscoelastic. Since I was operating an intermittent cataract, I made the antechamber flat by filling the antechamber tightly with viscoelastic to reduce the vertical force. I started capsular rhexis from the center. Since lenticular pressure was not much, I continued the rhexis in serpiginous manner and completed it. White nucleus are often soft and easy to fracture. Yes, but holding a mobile nucleus becomes difficult sometimes. Very easily I fractured the nucleus in two halves through vertical chopping. I started dividing the nucleus in smaller pieces and continued to do phaco-fragmentation. Rotated the second half and continued to chop and fragmentation. In mature white cataracts, normally I avoid hydro procedures because we cannot get idea about the integrity of the posterior capsule. I finished the fragmentation of last piece, then I saw a big posterior capsular gap. This is the time where we feel the rush of adrenaline, but I controlled my nerves, and this is the time not to panic. First thing, we have to avoid the sudden change in antechamber pressure gradients. Do not remove the phaco tip suddenly, although stop aspiration. Fill the antechamber with viscoelastics to avoid any movement of vitreous anteriorly and extension of posterior capsular end. Fortunately, anterior vitreous phase was intact and no vitreous bulge started. So I decided to aspirate the remaining cortical matter. However, for beginner, I would suggest to do dry aspiration with Simcoe cannula, which is the safest mode at this stage. After cortical cleanup, now we can see the extent of posterior capsular tear. It was big and both ends were not visible. Implantation of IOL in the bag would be risky in such cases. I always keep multi-piece intraocular lenses in my inventory for such situations. So we have to learn the loading and injection of these rescue IOLs. Do not try to implant single-piece intraocular lenses in sulcus. It can create problem in post-op, can initiate low-grade uveitis and even secondary glaucoma. Always maintain the antechamber pressure with viscoelastics to keep the vitreous behind. I injected the multi-piece IOL and the sulcus over the anterior capsular rhexis. I dialed the trailing haptic in the sulcus and I felt relief to see the centration of intraocular lens. Keep the IOL power in mind since this IOL is placed slightly anteriorly, so we need to adjust the power of intraocular lens. Since the posterior capsular tear was large, therefore I did not use the irrigation aspiration for visco removal. I simply flushed the antechamber with the BSS with the cannula for easy removal of the viscoelastics from the antechamber. I felt relaxed and lucky because I implanted intraocular lens without displacement of vitreous in the sulcus successfully. We learned from every case. Although we are doing the same surgery in every patient, but every surgery is different. Thanks for watching.